Film Journeys is all about discovery. An actor or a director, maybe a composer or a cinematographer. If you do enjoy them, then share them with your friends. Hence the mantra, discover, enjoy, discuss. This time around, we're all about Harrison Ford. The idea being that we offer up 3 films. A film you didn't realise he was in, a film that you might not have seen but you knew he was in, and a classic that you'll love to revisit. This week, The Expendables 3 is released in the UK on August the 14th and features a cast of action hero stars as long as your arm, including Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Antonio Banderas, Jet Li, Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, and of course, Harrison Ford. It promises to live up to the expectation of brain-switched-off, popcorn-ready action romp as per the first 2 in the series. So if you enjoyed those, you're going to love this instalment. The producers are claiming that this will be the last one, however box office takings will tell on that front. For today though, we're going to concentrate on Harrison Ford. In The Expendables 3, Harrison plays a helicopter pilot called Max Drummer, and although not confirmed, I suspect that his character won't have much screen time. So I've picked 3 Harrison Ford titles for you to get to see more of Mr. Ford, if you like that sort of thing. First up, Apocalypse Now from 1979. Not many people realise that Harrison is in this Francis Ford Coppola war opus, but he plays a young, fresh-faced soldier called Colonel Lucas, which I'm sure is a nod to George Lucas, a long-time collaborator and friend of both Harrison and Coppola. Here's a short clip of Ford from the film, and here he has the unenviable task of briefing Martin Sheen on an unofficial secret mission in a room full of superiors.
Your mission is to proceed up the Nung River in a Navy patrol boat. Pick up Colonel Kurtz's path at New Mung Ba. Follow it, learn what you can along the way. When you find the colonel, infiltrate his team by whatever means available, and terminate the colonel's command.
What's really interesting to see here is Harrison playing a young, insecure character. We have in our heads a Harrison Ford who always plays the strong, resourceful and confident type, and yet here, in only a few lines, we're seeing real vulnerability. It's a great, albeit brief performance, and worth checking out. Second film I've chosen for today is American Graffiti from 1973. Harrison plays Bob Falfer, a handsome but arrogant, slightly older foil to the main teenagers in the story. The film is set on the last night of the summer of '62, and the teenagers are out to get one last night of thrills before their lives move on and everything changes. The film was written and directed by George Lucas, and is really a love letter from him to the golden age of America. It's filled with great performances from well-known faces like Ron Howard and Richard Dreyfuss, and has some really cracking dialogue, like the exchange in the following clip between John Milner, played by Paul Le Mat, and Harrison Ford's character, Bob Falfer.
Hey man, I'm sorry if I scared you.
You're gonna have to do one hell of a lot more than that to scare me.
Yeah, but looking all over for you, man. Didn't nobody tell you I was looking for you?
Hey, I can't keep track of all you punks running around here backwards.
Hey, you're supposed to be the fastest thing in the valley, man, but that can't be your car. It must be your mama's car. I'm sort of embarrassed to be this close to you.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised driving a field car.
This scene runs quite a bit longer in the film, and some of the insults that these two throw at each other at the end aren't, shall we say, suitable for a family broadcast. But the general gist is that Harrison is trying to get a rise out of John Miller so that he can challenge him to a drag race. Spoiler alert, they do end up drag racing, but I won't tell you the outcome. The thing to look out for in this film is Harrison's performance, especially his voice. It's not just his accent, but his tone is very different to many of the other films that we've seen him in. Now, before I tell you the final film I'm suggesting, I should quickly list some honourable mentions. These are films that nearly made the list. In no particular order: The Mosquito Coast, where he plays Ali Fox; Witness, where he stars alongside Kelly McGillis; and Cowboys and Aliens, which was a film that had hundreds of promotional pieces of digital content that were created at its theatrical launch to market the film across the globe. And one single piece of artwork never actually got approved. Harrison Ford has, like many of the big stars, final approval on any artwork with his likeness. And one of the pieces created included a still from the film of some cowboys on horseback. They were all in silhouette, so no one could be sure if Harrison was included in that shot or not. So that particular piece was ditched. It's a fun film though, and worth checking out with the family. The third and final movie for Harrison Ford's film journey. Well, I really couldn't talk about the career of Harrison Ford and not mention two of his biggest roles. As the majority of people know, Harrison Ford played Han Solo, the cunning space pirate, in the Star Wars film saga, and is set to play him again in the new Star Wars film that's currently in production. But for the third film I'm recommending for you to catch up with, I'm going to suggest you watch Harrison Ford as the iconic Indiana Jones. Now, I'm going to be a bit controversial here, as I think when I mention Indiana Jones, most people will think of the first film, Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I'm going to suggest that you rewatch the second film, The Temple of Doom. To me, this film is one of the best examples of a perfect sequel, despite the critical mauling it received on its release in 1984. Temple of Doom is set before the events in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the Indiana Jones that Harrison Ford plays at the beginning of the film is not the Indiana Jones that we all know and love from the first movie. He's arrogant, selfish, and simply in it for the money, or as he jokingly refers to it in later stories, the fortune and glory. However, the story arc of his character through the Temple of Doom takes Indy on a journey past all of that and makes him become the hero that we know he is. The events of the second film make the character the person we fell in love with in the first film. There's a specific scene that signals that final part of his change in character. Having discovered the underground mine where the bad guys, the thuggy cult, are using children as slave labourers, Indiana gives up his chance to simply leave with the priceless Sankara stones, and he makes a conscious decision to stay, fight the bad guys, and set the children free. As he enters the mine, he's in a dusty silhouette when a light from a minecart shines on him as the camera dollies towards him. Here, his classic hero pose, combined with the movement of the camera and light and the atmosphere behind him, create an iconic image of this character that we all instantly think of when we hear his name. And we know from that moment, our hero is born. So, have I picked the right 3 Harrison Ford films to feature on his film journeys? You tell us. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your suggestions in the comments below. On Facebook, you can find us at facebook.com/filmjourneys or tweet us @filmjourneys. We're also on Google+. We want to hear from you. What are your choices? What 3 Harrison Ford films would you have picked? Thanks for watching. See you soon.